Hi, I want to say, first of all, really thank you very much for this. I want to say that you are pronouncing my name well. In Slovak language, it should be pronounced Brano, but I actually prefer Brano for some reason. Many people call me this way, so you can call me Brano. And also, maybe you can tell me how I should call you. I am currently in my studio, but it's quite cold here, so I'm trying to warm this place up. So I told myself that I'm gonna record these videos. And it's actually the way I found your videos, it was a complete coincidence. I was just browsing YouTube, and the recommendation showed me your video, and so I just tried it. And I have seen a lot of drum videos and educational videos over the years, but usually on YouTube they are not going into real detail because it's subscriber oriented stuff, and it's free. So I understand that if you do it for free, you probably don't share as much information as when it's paid. When I saw how you were approaching this, I realized that you are probably just posting the videos which are like a pandemic education for your students, like real students. And so it was full of detailed information which I haven't heard before. So that's why I decided to approach you and give it a try. I will record few of these videos, and I will talk about my music background, and I will also tell you how the education system works here in Slovakia, and why do I have the need to search for better information. So in this video I will talk about my music background, if I have one. First time I sat behind the drums, I was 5 years old, and it was because my cousins had drum set, and I completely fell in love with it. But unfortunately, my parents didn't support this interest of mine, because my father is a visual artist, and his father also, and my mom had this idea that because I displayed some talent from early age, that I should simply focus on this, and if I have some other interests, they are a waste of time. That was her approach to this. So they didn't support it, so it stayed as a wish for me. I played those drums when I was 5 years old, few times, few weekends, and that's it. Then it disappeared from my life. And I was thinking about it the whole childhood when I was growing up, and then the whole teenage years, and I wanted to somehow do it, but it was unapproachable to me. And one time when I saw how much a drum set costs in the store, it was like, okay, my parents will never buy this to me because it's just too expensive. So I begged them to buy me a guitar. So they bought me an acoustic guitar when I was 14, and I started to play acoustic guitar like very amateurishly and self-taught way. And actually, after a few years, I joined a band, and we were playing quite a lot of concerts when I was growing up as teenagers in my city of Košice, because I am from the city of Košice, which is on the east of Slovakia originally, but I live in Bratislava. And but I was still I was having this desire in me to play the drums, and I was very jealous of our drummer, that he is actually doing what he is doing. And then when I was 22 years old, I went to France to draw portraits on the street to make some money. That was my idea of how to make money. And I have drawn there for 3 months, and I have made the biggest money in my life up to that point. So I came back and I decided that I'm going to buy a drum set, and that I need to, even though I was already 22 years old, I was, you can say, too old to start something like this. I decided that I want to do it because I don't want to feel a regret at some point in my life that I haven't tried something which I really desired. So I bought my first drum set, but I didn't have a place to put it in because you need a rehearsal space or some room. So for 2 years they were just sitting at my apartment. But then a thing happened that I went to see an exhibition art exhibition in Bratislava, and there were like objects created like statues, but they were like objects which were created of dismantled musical instruments. And I heard some noise coming from one room. So I entered the room, and I saw that there is a girl playing on like a piano part of that object. And I knew that girl. That girl was a musician, a young musician in Slovakia who was playing like a art, rock, jazz kind of music. And I knew who is she playing with. She was playing with Martin Valihora, who is like the most famous, successful musician from Slovakia. He studied at Berklee College, and he played with Anthony Jackson and with Hiromi Uehara. So when I saw that she's playing there, I was a little bit, shocked or scared from it. But I saw that there is like a percussion part of this object. So I told myself, okay, let's play with her. And we played for like 30 minutes together, just making noise there. And after that, she came to me and she told me if I don't want to join her band. And I was like, no, I actually have zero experience and I know who you are playing with. And she said, no, I liked it. So I wanted to join the band because she is not playing with Martin anymore. So I told her, please give me like 3 months, send me your songs because they recorded the demo. And I will try to learn myself those songs just on the practice pad and on pillows because I didn't have a place to practice my drum set in. So I tried it. I practiced for 3 months every day like this. And we had first rehearsal and they wanted to play with me. So that's how it started for me. And since that moment, other people approached me and I play with them. And I am completely happy from this and I am really enjoying this. But the truth is that really all of those people are musicians who studied their instruments. And they are professional musicians. They are making their living this way. So somehow it's like the first league here in Slovakia, but I don't feel I have the abilities and knowledge of the drummers of the first league here in Slovakia. I'm trying to pretend that I have them, and somehow people want to play with me, but still inside I feel that I need to at least come a bit closer to the quality which I need to be at. So for this reason, I am trying to find information and make progress in what I do. So of course, I was trying to find teachers here in Slovakia for many years. I was trying different teachers here in Slovakia. And yes, I learned from them a lot. But for example, it's the truth. I had 3 personal private teachers. None of them was teaching me technique. None of them. So everything what we did together was that we basically played concepts like for example coordination exercises, which was very good, but they never told me how to hold the drumstick or how to step on the pedal or stuff like this. So and they all had like this idea that it will come by itself, that the technique stuff will solve itself by itself over time, because I think that they think this because they started in a very early age as kids. And they don't even maybe remember how they became in the quality how they are now. But when you start as a grown-up, it's different. And also I am like this analytical type that I need to know what I'm doing, So I was searching for a lot of sources, and most of the stuff which I do from technique point of view is what I learned on the internet or in some books. And it's producing inconsistent results. It's like I can do some stuff and sometimes I'm successful with it and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I do something and it doesn't end up well because I'm not sure that I can do it. And I feel that I simply don't have enough information and I don't really know what I'm doing. So that's why I'm trying to learn it from scratch, to just know that, okay, at least I know about the basics. At least I know what is necessary. And it's just how much time I will invest into it, It's not that I'm just lost. Okay, so now I will talk about the musical education here in my country in general, or maybe even education in general. I think people in my country and people in your country, we have very different mentality. And people are all the same and dealing with very similar stuff all over the world, but also you have specific histories of nations, and they are influencing the general mentality. And in my nation, we are a very young nation. We exist like for 20 something years. Before that, we were Czechoslovakia for just 4 years. And before that, we were part of the Soviet Union. So it left, I think, very strong scars on the mentality of Slovak people. And this mentality is, of course, influencing how we do stuff. And it's also influencing how we view what is education and how you should approach education. There is a lot of weird thing going on, like things like for example, really since the young age you are in a very weird position as a student of anything, because, for example, if you ask a question to your teacher, it's very likely that the teacher will take it as attack on his ability to teach. He will not take it as, yes, of course, I want to answer you and help you with this problem. He will just, take it like, how could you not understand the answer to your question from what I was saying previously? So people are learned to not ask questions because you don't want to imply to your teacher that he is a bad teacher, or you don't want to look stupid in front of your classmates, because somehow it is in our mentality here that you should be able to figure out a lot of the stuff by yourself. And don't ask it. If you have to ask it, you probably are not talented enough. And I have a good example of this. Like, I am working as a teacher at the university, and I teach printmaking techniques. Traditional printmaking is very much intertwined with drawing. So you spend a lot of time drawing with charcoal, drawing with pen. And you are supposed to master line drawing, because printmaking is based on line drawing. If you look at old etchings or old woodcuts or wood carvings and stuff like this, it's all line drawing. And with this line drawing, you are producing tonalities, different shades of gray you are producing with this. So there is a lot of principles which are at play when you are using this as your visual language. And when I was growing up, I was studying like a basic art school, high art school, and art university. The only information which I have ever gotten about the line drawing shading principles, about hatching and cross hatching, was that when you etch an object which you are trying to draw, you should use the lines as if you are drawing them around the form of the object. That's it. That's the whole information. But this is bringing many questions like, okay, in which direction around the object and stuff like this. And when I asked this, because I think it was insufficient information, my teacher told me that if you cannot figure out by yourself which direction, you are probably not talented enough. That was the answer, which is a terrible answer, and it's not true. So somehow there is this mentality of approaching the education as if we are born educated or something. And this applies, I gave you an example from fine arts, but this also applies to music. And formally, how music is taught here, it's different than in US. You can start, attend musical lessons as a child, but they are not part of your school education. You have to find like a afternoon school, which is a different school to which you normally attend, and you start attending basic lessons there at the afternoon school. The approach to teach this is usually that I know a lot of people who had the luck that their parents put them to this afternoon music school, and they hate music. They just, it was very like Soviet way of teaching music, like it's something very not fun, And then when you get to be 14 or 15 years old, you are choosing your high school. And in Slovakia, we have high school system which is specialized. So at 14, you have to decide what is going to be your professional specialization, which is crazy early. So I went to art high school, fine arts high school. This was like easy decision for me, but of course many people didn't and don't know what they... So they end up at some specialized high school, or they go to study gymnasium, which is like a broad, we call it gymnasium, which is like a broad type of high school, which is a little bit resembling of high schools which you have in US. But still, if you want to study music, you will not study music there. You have to, again, continue on the afternoon school, which is similar to maybe private lessons. But you also have conservatory. And conservatory is also high school here in Slovakia. You start when you are 15. And there you can study and specialize yourself. But for example, you cannot study drum set in conservatory in Slovakia. You can study orchestral playing on a snare drum and all the orchestral stuff, but drum set, no. Drum set, they have drum set as a 1 hour a week lesson. Like it's part of the curriculum, but it's very, very little time, which is, and they don't really put focus on this. So most of the professional drummers here in Slovakia, they have learned it from private lessons, or they studied somewhere abroad at university. But the conditions which we have here, like when I see videos which you are producing, this is absolutely uncomparable. And also here, when someone goes to study some music in the US, he is a hero. He comes back and everyone is trying to get some information from that person, because everyone knows that he was in contact with, like you can say, the source of what we are trying to imitate here, So the extent of the information which you are giving to your students from the videos which I saw, this is impossible here. This is absolutely impossible. First of all, the teachers don't have the knowledge. And second of all, the mentality, which I described to you. So there is also this weird block to approach things this way. So I am envious, and everyone who has a passion with this is envious of children in the US who have this opportunity to have such a quality education. And when you said that it is so specialized in Texas that you are actually teaching just 7th and 8th graders, because for other grade they have different teachers, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. It's great that it is this way, and I am very honored to have the opportunity to have this online communication with you and to work on the stuff. And so I will work on what you said in the video. I will try to improve the details of the wrist stroke, and I will also work on the rebound, full stroke, and then I will send you, maybe in few days, I will send you the result of this. So thank you very much.